So in the last session, we already had our extra super fascia activation exercise, really coming to a compact position and then reaching back up. And we are going to combine this now with a mobility exercise. So I'll show you the whole thing. First, we reach to the floor, reach up and reach to the floor again. We walk to the front, step the legs wider than hip width apart, and really reach upwards with the sit bones. Then we step in right and back, come to a squat position, and then we repeat. Reach up and down, okay? So let's do the first flow of this slowly, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. So we're going to start here, standing, feet parallel, spine upright, navel slightly pulled towards the spine, and then you release the knees and the upper back and allow the hands to come to the floor, coming to a very compact position. And now from here, as if everything in your body evenly activates, you reach the hands up, you straighten the knees, you come to an upright position and reach the hands up towards the ceiling. We come to the tip of the toes here for a few seconds, and then everything collapses again evenly. Try to really find an even pace here. Then walk the hands to the front, step the legs wider than hip width apart, stretch the hamstrings here, really pushing the sit bones back. Step the right leg in, step the left leg in, right leg comes to parallel, left leg to parallel, come to a squat. Stretch for the Achilles here. And then from here, again, activate everything. Everything evenly activates to reach an expansion. Reach up to the ceiling, up onto your toes, and then collapse everything down. Really finding an even pace between every crease that is created in this movement. Walk the hands to the front. Right leg, left leg, wider than hip width apart. Really stretch the hamstrings here. Pull the sit bones to the back. Try to straighten your lower back. Now I'm going to step my left leg in, and then my right leg in. Left leg comes to parallel, right leg to parallel. We come to a squat. Now here we are going to bring the hands a little further front. Bring the knees to the floor. Rock back to the squat, and again from here activate everything to initiate length across every part of the body, reaching up to the ceiling, onto your toes. Hold for 2 seconds and then collapse everything on the way down, evenly creating compactness in every area of the body. One more time. Walk the hands to the front, walk the left foot this time, then the right foot wider than hip width. Stretch into your hamstrings here. Let's step the left in and right. Left to parallel, right. Come to a squat. Keep the hands here a bit further away from you so that we can come down to the floor with the knees. Back to squat, and then from here one more time we activate everything together. So from this very compact position we find one initiating point to reach up that activates the entire body with even motion. And let's start together now. Evenly across all parts of the body, grow tall up until your toes. Okay, great. And then let's one more time make our way here to a downward facing dog position. Walk the legs into the floor here. Step the left leg in and the right leg behind you. And then we're going to lift the leg up and down like we did in the very first session, making sure that the right leg here is very, very straight. So look at your right knee once, make sure it is straight, and then let's lift up and down, keeping the hips as square as possible. For 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 5. Let's swap legs. Left leg is behind you. Look at your left knee, make sure it is straight, and then try to straighten it. Keep it straight on the way up. And let's go for 5 more. 1 and 2 and 3, keeping the hips very square, and 4 and 5. Okay, great. Let's come to standing here once, and we already did our side-to-side leg swings once, so we're going to do a front and back variation. You can do it standing or holding on to something for balance. So, but the idea is that it's both a swing of the leg and at the same time a controlled movement. So you can bring the arms here out to the side, and then what I like to do is just switch the arms. If you can touch here hand and leg, that's ideal. If not, that's okay as well, then it's just a guideline for your general direction. So we just lift and lift and lift, and let's go for 10 more. 1, 2, keep the body upright. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to try a variation of this to the back. Except we're going to take both hands to the front and then take one leg to the back. So you can imagine you are on a snowy slope, skiing downwards. I don't know what skiing is like, but I imagine it's like this. So this is what it looks like. You reach the back with one heel. I flex my foot here. My standing leg is slightly bent. I'll come back in and then reach. And come back in and reach. Let's go for 10. 1, 2, keep the stomach pulled in towards the spine. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, great. Come back to standing here and find your pyramid position. Both toes pointing in one direction, hands on your hips, and then we are going to create a clean forward fold here to the front, as far as you can go before your hips roll in, then back up. 5 more, and fold, and pressing the left foot into the floor, come back up, and fold. Press the foot into the floor, and 2 more, fold, press into the floor, 1 more time, and press. Fantastic. Let's swap legs. Again, make sure that your hips align here to the front. Clean forward fold, reaching to the front with your navel, pushing the hip bones back, just until the point before your hips would roll. Press the foot into the floor, come back up, and again, fold, come back up, fold, and back up. 2 more, fold, really reach to the front with the navel, back up, and fold, come back up. Okay, great. Now, again, starting from parallel, step the left leg to the front. The right leg comes into a lunge position here. Keep the feet really propped up. And without supporting yourself here on your knees, just slide your left leg a little bit further front. Increase the lunge here and really try to reach your maximum. So gradually it becomes hard work for the thighs here, and then really stretch down here into the hips. With an upright spine here, making sure you're not leaning to the front, but you keep upright while at the same time drawing the stomach in, so it's not an arch in the back here. We really don't want that arch, but we almost want to feel like we're tucking the hips in slightly, pressing here into this hip crease. Let's hold for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Straighten the front leg once, and then doesn't have to be straight all the way, just to give yourself a break. We do that again. Find your very, very deep lunge. Tuck the hips, press into this hip crease here, directing the hip further towards the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and elegantly ease yourself out of the position to change sides. Let's find our deep lunge here. Sliding the right leg further to the front to challenge yourself. Align the hips. Really press down into that left hip here, tucking the hips slightly, making sure you're not arched, the ribs aren't flaring to the front like that, but you have an amount of control here in the core, drawing the stomach in, chest is upright, look to the front, and then deepen this. Really pushing the left hip down to the floor for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Straighten the front leg just for a few seconds to take a breather before we deepen the stretch again. One more time, bend the front leg. Really direct the hip down. Lift your chest, draw the stomach in, hips are slightly tucked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And elegant exit of your choice. Before we make our way down here to the mat, into a straddle. Finding your straddle, sitting upright and just wiggle from side to side. You get a little bit of sense of space in the hips. So you will notice that I've done a few exercises with you that were all resistance exercises to some extent. So before your splits practice, I would always recommend you do some of these resistance stretches where you engage the muscles that you want to stretch before you go into the deep stretches. That will really help you on your flexibility journey. Okay, so here let's remember penguin hands, straight back, straight leaning to the front. With your penguin hands, you can wiggle yourself into a slightly deeper straddle. And then here, if you want to flex the feet, that can help you, or you want to keep them pointed. Either way, let's almost have the sense of wanting to touch the floor with the navel. So if this is as far as you can go, then that's fine. And every step further means that your navel is moving further front. You keep an upright chest. You almost want to think of arching the lower back, because this is the direction that we want to stretch in. We never want to have a round back in our pancake stretches. So let's try to go here to the front as much as possible, and then ease back out just a tiny bit so that we can go left and right. So I'm from the center here. So this, let's say this is my maximum position. I come back a little bit, and then I'm moving first my shoulders and then the rest of my torso slightly into a diagonal, really finding that diagonal stretch here inside of the hamstring. You can move your hands if that helps you. Come back to center. Other side. So from the shoulders, the rest of the body follows. We go to the front. One more time. Center. Move the torso to the other side. And find the diagonal stretch here. One more time to the center. Move to the other side. Shoulders rotate, torso follows. Okay, great. Now from here, let's just once not actually rotate into a split, but explore this movement here in the hips. So I'm going to support myself here on the floor, lean to the front, same idea, penguin arms, very straight back. And then it's like my shoulders are pulling me to the front here, and you just explore a gentle rotation of your right leg if you are leaning towards your left. Make sure this does not strain your knee, so if you feel a pressure on your knee, you've rotated too much. Let's go to the other side. Place your hands here, left and right, of your right leg. Rotate towards the right leg and push into the floor, leaning to the front with your shoulders. Keep the back straight and just notice how your back leg starts to rotate. Okay, great. Fabulous. Now let's come to our split entry position. Again, if you want to pad your knee, if you want to work with an elevation, let's start with the left leg in front and start the front and back movement that we've done every time here, just finding some space and length in the hips. Okay, so from here, slide the knee further back so that we find a deep lunge here once, really pushing the right hip down towards the floor. And then straighten the front leg and try to come this time as low as possible towards your front leg. Okay, come to an upright position and find your split entry position here and start sliding the left leg to the front, right knee to the back. And we hold again together for 20 seconds, very, very upright chest here. Finding space and your breath. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ease out of the position into your lunge, finding a gentle release here. Okay, and one more time, slide into your split position. Maybe this time you can go a little deeper. Be mindful of the rotation in the hips. Do you maybe need a slight outwards rotation? Do you want to keep the hips square? Upright chest for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and ease out of the position. Okay, great. Let's change legs. Right leg is in front. Let's move front and back, finding space in the hips. So I'll keep reminding you because it's so important. You want to look for your optimal position, which is the position where you feel length in the hips and a certain degree of the possibility of movement in the hips. Yeah, if you feel completely stuck and you're holding your breath, most likely you are jamming into a position that isn't allowing for more length to develop. Okay, great. Find your lunge here once. Really push the left hip down into the floor. So I hope that by now this feels a lot softer than it felt when we started doing this 8 sessions ago. And then straighten the front leg once, coming as close as possible here to your leg. And come out of the position. Find a good support in the hands for your split entry position. Slide the legs to the front, the back leg slightly back, upright spine, slight core engagement, pulling the navel gently in towards the spine. And if it feels unbearable, just lift back up a little bit. For 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Gently ease out of the position and just move a little bit from front and back here to find some space again. So you might have days where your hamstrings feel tighter here and some days where the hips and the thighs feel tighter. So you always want to kind of modify this split position a little bit towards the area which you feel needs the work. So slide your legs front and back one more time. And if you want to work more into the hips, the more you lift your chest, the more you really lean almost towards the back while still keeping a core engagement, the more this affects the thighs in the stretch, and the more you lean to the front, the more it affects the hamstrings. Let's hold for 15 more. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, great. And ease out of the stretch. And before we go to our last exercise here, I would like to just do a preparation with you for what comes next. Let's start this again on the left leg. And I would like you, without an elevation now, to keep the back leg straight, or as straight as, let's say, knee on the floor, and then try to slide the front leg to the front and see how low you can get here with your hands on the floor. So now maybe you've reached your maximum position here. Try to slide the front leg further and rotate the hips slightly into a diagonal and feel how far that might take you. Let's just hold here for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and then lift back out of the position. Let's do the exact same thing on the other side. So I've got my left knee here on the floor at the back. I'm sliding my right leg to the front till I reach my maximum position, and then I'm opening the hips slightly up into a diagonal and see how far that takes you. For 1, 2, 3. Okay, great. And lift back out of the position. So let's just come here to our compact hip position. Elbows on the floor, moving the hips side to side. And then from here, once, push your hands and elbows into the floor, keeping both on the floor, and then create the roundest cat back that you can possibly create while not moving your hands or your elbows. Really round back. Sit back on the heels, very straight back, lifting the chest. One more time, very round back. And very straight back here. One more time, round back. And straight back. Okay, great. Feel free to stretch a little bit more. Thank you for practicing with me today. In the next 2 sessions, we will really try to attempt to do a full split. If you like this series, please recommend it to a friend or to someone who you think might like it. It's always very useful for me if you also spread the word. Thank you for practicing with me, and see you in the next video.